Happy 4th of July weekend, everyone, and welcome to another week of Sports Corner. I'm Cole Young, and what better way to start off the show than with the NHL Stanley Cup Finals. The drought is officially over as the Colorado Avalanche won their first Stanley Cup in over 2 decades. The Avalanche were up 3-1 entering Game 5 and had a chance to secure the victory at home and bring home the cup. However, Tampa Bay was able to stay alive after winning Game 5 and bringing the series to 3-2. Fear and anxiety began to settle in for Colorado fans because in the past 3 years, Colorado has entered the playoffs as strong contenders to win it all, but in 3 straight years, they would not make it past the second round. They would not let this opportunity slip and would secure the victory in Game 6, however. Cale Makar, the Colorado defenseman, would take home the Conn Smythe postseason MVP trophy after putting up 8 goals and 29 points through just 20 games. If you remember, I mentioned last week that Makar also won the Norris Trophy for Best Defenseman. This makes Makar just the 3rd defenseman in history to win both the Conn Smythe and the Norris. Not only that, Cale Makar put on this incredible season and earned all these accolades at just 23 years old. Just a few years ago, the Avalanche were one of the league's worst teams. Now, they have cemented their place in history and are just beginning their legacy with a young and very talented roster that can be dominant for several years to come. On top of all that, the Avalanche also set a new record. They now hold the record for the fastest team to dent the cup. The team hadn't even made it off the ice before it was dropped and dented. Hockey Hall of Fame's keeper of the cup, Phil Pritchard, said, "I don't even know if they had it 5 minutes and there's a dent in the bottom already, right in the middle of the team photo. I guess it's a new record today. 5 minutes into the presentation, it's happened." Add another tally to the win column for the Avalanche. While hockey season is now officially over, apparently the NHL isn't the only league where players can fight. On Sunday, the Angels went viral for a bench-clearing brawl with the Seattle Mariners. Tensions began when Mariners pitcher Eric Swanson threw a 95-mile-per-hour fastball near the head of Angels star Mike Trout in Saturday's game. As is common in this kind of occurrence in baseball, there was retaliation. Angels pitcher Andrew Wantz threw a pitch near a Mariners batter in the first inning, then hit Mariners outfielder Jesse Winker with the first pitch of the second inning. Winker and members of the Angels bench exchanged some words, and then chaos erupted. Normally in baseball, these kinds of fights aren't necessarily fights. They usually consist of a few pushes and shoves and some choice words being had. This was not the case on Sunday. Several punches were thrown, including one from Angels third baseman Anthony Rendon, who, keep in mind, is out for the season with a broken thumb. After all the dust settled, play resumed and suspensions were handed out. 12 players and coaches will be serving suspensions, including Angels interim manager Phil Nevin, who received a 10-game suspension. Maybe this might just be the spark plug the Angels need to turn the second half of their season around. So, the NHL season's now complete, and so is the NBA season that ended just a few weeks ago. However, the basketball world is already creating some big headlines as free agency begins to ramp up. One of the game's biggest stars, Kyrie Irving, made a huge impact when he announced he will opt into his contract and return to the Brooklyn Nets. There were rumors and speculation growing that Irving might make a move to rejoin former teammate LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers. These thoughts, and, well, hopes for some fans, were quickly put to rest after Irving announced he's remaining in Brooklyn. Not only that, but current Lakers point guard Russell Westbrook also opted into his contract to remain with the Lakers. While Westbrook had a rocky first season in LA, I can't really say I blame him for staying with the team. Westbrook's contract this season is worth $47 million. Bad season or not, I can imagine that's a pretty hard number to say no to. As I mentioned last week, F1 is back again this weekend with the Great Britain Grand Prix in Silverstone. The race takes place this Sunday at 7 a.m. Pacific time, so be sure to follow along for another exciting week of racing. And the most popular sport in the world is gearing up for the biggest sporting event in the world. The FIFA World Cup complete match schedule is officially set. The US has been placed in Group B and will be facing Wales, England, and finally Iran in the first 3 match days. Excitement is at an all-time high for soccer fans all over the world, but we still have a ways to go before the matches kick off. The US will play its games November 21st, 25th, and 29th. That seems like forever away to me, but then I remind myself it is already July. Before we know it, the year will be just about over. Thank you for joining me on yet another week of Sports Corner. As I said last week, we have officially entered what most consider to be the slow period of sports. But free agency news is popping up over most major leagues, baseball is still entertaining as always, and we still have lots of F1 races. I'm Cole Young, and I want to wish you all a fun, safe, and happy 4th of July. Have a great weekend.